Well, first I want to congratulate Dallas Baptist on, just a tremendous season. And, been on the other end of it. You had to play 2 games in one day. And it's tough coming back for that second game. And they gave us all we could handle. They really battled us. And then, just the ball game itself, they came out smoking. And, they really swung the bat well in their game yesterday and then earlier today, to knock off a really strong Southern Miss team that is known for their offense, and they just outslugged them and, had me definitely on high alert and knew kind of we were going to get their best shot. I mean, they're playing for their season. That was it. And, Isaiah came out and just didn't command the fastball whatsoever, and just had to make a quick decision. And talked with Coach after the first hitter and then the second hitter. We got somebody down there. Just kind of felt like, the game could get away from us. They're such a good team offensively. And, a lot of times, in a normal game, obviously you're going to leave your guy in there a little bit longer. But, the reason we took him out, it was just we just went off of history, what we had seen a little bit. Sometimes you either have it or you don't. And it just didn't seem like that Isaiah have it. I still have confidence in him, and he'll get the ball again if everything goes the way it could go. So, but just a great job by Jake Reindl coming in and what we call damage control. Bases loaded, no outs, only gave up 1 run. It could have easily been 3-4, and got us in the dugout. Slowed them down a little bit. They came in and punched a run in the second on us, and then we kind of just scraped together a few runs. I mean, we didn't do much tonight offensively, but with the pitching of Reindl, and then obviously with Cronin coming in and finishing it up, I think that there was a really tough call there in the ninth that didn't go our way. And it's interesting that we get to have replay throughout the season in the SEC and in our tournament, and then one of the biggest times of the year we don't have it. And I think it might have swung the other way, but I think that Matt kept it together out there and kept us cool and just went and got the job done. So just really proud of him for showing a lot of maturity there and stepping it up for us and getting the job done.
Questions for the student athletes? Raise your hand and we will get a microphone to you. Matt?
Hey, Jake, from the time that you ran out to the bullpen, I think Isaiah only threw about 5 or 6 pitches. Can you talk about warming up so fast and getting into the game in such a quick manner?
Yeah, I threw maybe 6 or 7 down in the pen, and then Coach walked out and he was like, "Hey, you're in." I was like, "Well, okay, here we go." So it was really just kind of a bang bang thing where it's quick, going down there, throwing, getting out on the mound. It just all happened so fast.
Yeah, for Heston, how's your face? I mean, a bruise?
It's fine.
Okay, can you talk about the catch and then just scraping some runs together against this team today?
The guy hit it pretty well. I dropped back, had a good read on the ball, and then felt my first 2 steps on the warning track and leaped up on the last one and pulled down the ball, and just helping out Jake Reindl, who was out there working his butt off for us, and just got to have his back. He had my back when I made a mistake out there in the field, so just got to help him out too.
And then the offense you don't have today?
I want to say it was our best game offensively, but we kept in there, scratched a few runs here and there, and then we just got to give it to our pitchers. Our pitchers had a heck of a weekend. Every game they were keeping us in it, and especially today, it's big time when they can hold a team that's a good hitting team to a little amount of runs.
Jake, what did you think of, over here on your right, what did you think of Heston's catch? And then you took your hat off and held it up to him for a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, that was quite the catch. I was really excited because off the bat I was like, yeah, that's probably gone. I was like, yikes. And then I saw him come down with the ball, and I was obviously really excited and gave him one of those.
Bob.
Yeah, this for both the pitchers. I mean, obviously the starters in the first 2 games gave you guys, a lot of rest. Well, you didn't have to come in and pitch. How big was that that you guys were fully rested, going into this game?
I'll take it. I'll go. You know, I think it was big having, you know, really our whole bullpen, you know, at our disposal. And it gave us the opportunity to do something like we did today where I can come in early and then Matt can come and close it out. And we still had Barrett waiting, you know. So, you know, I think it was big that we saved pitching and really good job by those two starters to save the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just huge. It puts you a step ahead of everyone else in the regional, knowing that you're just set on pitching for the weekend, basically having those first 2 games out of the way. You just got to get one more, and you got basically all your options available.
And Jake, I think you left 9 guys on base. I mean, not all of you are doing because you inherited bases loaded and there was an error. But just what was it like with guys? It seemed like constant traffic, but you didn't let many of them score. Only one. You know?
Yeah, I didn't have very good stuff today at all. I really couldn't command very well. The ball wasn't moving like it usually does, so it was really a grind. I had to kind of figure out a way to get out of some jams and do some stuff that I hadn't done before, because I could usually rely on, you know, this pitch or that pitch to help me get out of a jam. So, yeah, it was interesting kind of navigating all that.
Scotty.
Yeah, Heston, right now I think there are 4 teams that you guys beat at Baum this year. They're in pretty good position to make the Super Regional. Can you just kind of speak to the way that you guys kind of handled that quality competition all year?
You know, it's just the way this team plays. I feel like the higher level team we play, the team understands how important those games are, and everyone seems to step up when they need to step up to win big games.
Yeah, and I don't know what your celebration was like with your teammates, but you guys seem pretty calm up here, like you just beat, you know, Alabama or something. So you just won a regional. I mean, kind of how excited are you, or do you guys feel like, well, this is just the first step, or just kind of what's the reaction to winning the regional?
I'll say that, yeah, I mean, we're excited, obviously, but there's a lot more that we want to accomplish, so we're kind of, you know, locked in on that right now and not too worried about that we've just won this.
Yeah, I'd say the same. We're excited, but it's a process, and this is just one step along the journey that we have ahead of us.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun out there. It was exciting, but Coach Johnson always says, after midnight, forget about this and move on to the next one.
I want to ask you about Jared Gates, what his regional was like, what you saw from him, and kind of what he provided tonight, too.
It seems like that kid is always here in June. He did it last season. He's doing it again this season. So it's awesome to have a guy that always produces like that in the postseason.
Yeah, hey, Matthew, replay did show that should have been an out-on-the-ground ball. Dave alluded to the fact you held it together. Kind of what was your mindset closing it out when you got a bad break like that?
Yeah, I mean, at first when I saw he called him safe, I was in shock, and I almost lost it for a second, and then I just remembered you got to stay cool. You still got to get, at that point, 3 more outs, I think. But just got to come back and keep doing what you know you can do.
Matt?
For any of the players, how much did the disappointment of not winning the regional here on this field last year play into how well you played this weekend?
I mean, it was very disappointing to get beat at your own park, especially. I mean, we just wanted to come back. We want to prove that we're better than that and make it to a Super and then to Omaha.
Clay?
Matt, just where are you in your recovery from mono? Are you 100% or?
100%.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Same thing for Coach Van Horn. Raise your hand and we will get a microphone to you. Go ahead, Matt.
Coach, on Kerstad, it's a 1-run game. He takes away a run, and then the next inning he comes back and he has an RBI hit. Can you just speak to the importance that he had, late in this game?
Well, obviously, he's responsible for saving a run. He drove in a big run that, gave us a 2-run lead that we ended up needing. That we needed that run to maintain the lead and end up winning the game. It was just a great play, playing fairly deep. We had him, when Granberg gets up, we back up a little bit, obviously. But for him to make that catch, it changed the momentum. It kept it in our dugout, obviously. So just tremendous job. And then the base hit up the middle. The first pitch, I think he might have swung at a pitch took a ball, then he swung at a pitch and he overswung, swung really hard, missed it, and we were kind of talking to him from the dugout, just, take a little bit off your swing and just try to shoot the ball through the middle. And then the next pitch was a hanging breaking ball, and he just did what you're supposed to do with the breaking ball, hit it right back where it came from, and right when he left the bat, we knew we had another run there, so it was hugely important.
Coach, you would love to win them all 10-2, I think, but right here, to have that game where a smaller school kind of gets out on you and you all had to fight back and grind out, is that you kind of glad you played that this time of year, that kind of game?
Well, we played a lot of those this year, way too many, honestly. We played so many one-run games and two-run games that it gets you ready for this. We don't look at them as a smaller school. We just look at them as a really good team. We always talk about it doesn't matter what it says across that jersey, man. They're a Division I team, and they can beat you if you don't play good. And our whole focus was just to play solid baseball, and we did that for the most part, except for the ball we didn't catch in the outfield. It was just a great game. Feel fortunate to win it.
Okay.
Dave, Jake said he had 6 or 7 pitches. Did you know he was ready, or are you just like,
well,
we're going to get him?
It's interesting, so I'm walking out to the mound, I'm looking to the left, and he stopped throwing pitches off the mound. So in my mind, he's ready. So I'm thinking he threw a few more than that, talking to our bullpen guy down there. But obviously he didn't have much time. I think when he ran down there, he knew that he was probably coming in the game, just from the way he was told to hustle down there and get hot quick. So, usually I get out to the mound in a situation like that, and I peeked again, and he's standing at the gate. So, I felt like that, he was a better option than we had going at the time, because it looked like things were spinning pretty much out of control. And, we just hated to make that move. And I hated to make that move, I'll be honest with you. I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel good because I didn't want to hurt Isaiah Campbell, who's a big part of our team, but I just felt like in the big picture that's what we had to do. And I'm just, myself personally, I just feel great that Jake came in and kind of had my back, that I took out a pitcher after 3 hitters and got us in the dugout, because if he gives up a double and a couple singles, then it wasn't a very good move. So appreciate Jake coming through there. But, yeah, I thought he was a little hotter than what he just said. But, he's a guy that doesn't take long to get loose at all. And he's a reliever, and he knows what he's doing, and he knows that, if he's not, we radio down. We have radios, and, he's hot, he's good. So we went and got him.
2 things. Is it a reasonable expectation, 7 innings, 97 pitches? Is that the very high end?
Yeah,
of what
that
you
was
expect?
it. We were just hoping he could get through that 7th. We already had Matt down there playing catch. We were hoping Matt just needed to get 6 outs. If he would have needed to get 7 or 8, he was going to be the guy, because the first hitter was right-handed in the 7th. The next 2 were left. And if there was going to be a little bit of an issue, then we were just going to go with him.
How close, realistically, have you come to having replay in the postseason? Has it been discussed?
Yeah, it's been discussed, and I think we're going to have it in the Super Regional. I may be wrong. Are we? Yes. So why not have it in the regional? I don't get it. So, we might have got a call. They might have got a call. Maybe it ends up at, even in the end. But, why not just make you 100% sure when it gets down to this?
Yeah, Dave, I think Florida State went 0-2 at their home regional. Some other teams, East Carolina's not winning their regional. There's going to be some others. You've gone through it both ways, on the road and at home. Yeah. Is it a relief? Are you excited? What's your emotions about winning a regional?
Well, you always have a little bit of relief, because there is a little more pressure when you're a seed, you're at home, expectation. A lot of it may be more self-inflicted, but I'm just excited that we played well, because that's all I tell the guys every week. I just want you to play well. If we play well and we lose, we can live with it. But if we don't play well and we lose, then you wonder why. And so we played pretty well. So it was a good weekend, and we're going to try to keep this week exactly like the weeks that we've had in league play, because now we have a 3-game series where we have a lift tomorrow. And maybe some guys that didn't throw and some guys that didn't hit are going to face each other live tomorrow in the later afternoons, and have a couple of practices and get ready to go.
And in retrospect, you had your whole bullpen, the key guys all ready to go. I mean, in retrospect, how huge was that?
That was huge. I mean, I mentioned it last night. I think that we had our starting pitchers gave us, 7, 8 innings each, and we had pretty good leads, so we got to go with some younger guys and didn't have to use the 3 or 4 guys that we normally go to on the weekends. And, we still had Lowski available. So if it wouldn't have finished really good today, we could have gone with Lowski as a starter, Cole Ramage as a starter. But obviously we had a 2-run lead with 6 outs to get. So we said, hey, we got to go for it. We brought Matt in.
How often y'all work on that, and has it been lately?
Well, where we work on it is right there in that chain link fence, because if you work on it a little farther, you're going to tear up the fence. Them spikes will rip those pads pretty quick. But they work on it every now and then. You just get them back there near the warning track and lob the ball, and they work on climbing it a little bit. And, that brings back memories of the catch that Matt Vincent made against Alabama, that when he went halfway over that fence because he got to the middle pad with his foot on the jump and got almost his whole body over and saved 3-run homer. We won that game 5-4. How do I remember that? I don't know, but I just do. And so it was a pretty good play, but this one tonight was, probably even more special just because that would have tied the game, and we're in the finals of a regional. So they do practice it every now and then, but it's not like you do it every day.
Scotty.
Coach, what's it like to look up and see 4 teams that you guys beat here? I think you guys were 8-1 against 4 teams that are going to be they're in pretty good position to make a super regional. What comes to your mind when you see that?
Well, I mean, just to answer that question, it just like we've talked about all year, we really feel like the SEC was as deep as it's ever been, and it's probably the best it's ever been as far as the depth of the league. And I think 10 teams from the league made regionals. There's probably a couple other teams that we played at their place that are going to win, like Ole Miss, Florida. Who knows? Maybe Georgia. So we played a pretty good schedule, and we just who's ever on the schedule, that's who we play. And we competed pretty well, and we won our share.
One more on Randall's warm-up, Dave, that when he got to the mound, it looked like maybe of those 8 pitches, 2 might have been strikes. The fastball, I mean, was that kind of what he's talking about, not having his best stuff tonight?
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, he was obviously, by the end of the first inning, he was about as loose as you could get. I'm not saying he was 100% ready when he got on the mound, but he just didn't have command of his fastball tonight, and he didn't have, like you said, he wasn't moving around. Everything was up. And he really started commanding the ball in the 5th inning. That's when he threw a couple of knee-high fastballs and a couple of breaking balls down and away and got some swings. And so then we thought, hey, maybe we can get another inning or 2 out of him. And he got us through the 7th. And, that was huge, getting the 7th inning for us.
Dave, when you're putting a pitching plan together against Granberg, every coach that's strolled through here has talked about the difficulty. How do you get the guy out?
Well, you don't get him out very much. I mean, the guy's got, 115 hits or something? He reminds me of a right-handed Wade Boggs. He just is always talking to the umpire after every pitch. Was that a strike? Was that a ball? He's always talking. You try to beat him in. He gets his hands inside the ball. You try to throw him away. He hits the ball the other way. And he's got 14 or 15 home runs. And, he's like a professional hitter. And I think he's going to hit with a wood bat. I think he's going to hit his way to the big leagues. And he can run. He's very smart. And I haven't answered your question because I don't know how to get him out. How do we pitch him? We pitched him in. We pitched him out. We tried to get him to chase up. We tried to get him to chase down. And then sometimes you just have to throw it over the plate and hope they hit it at somebody.
Yeah, David, doesn't look like you got a Gatorade bath or anything. The guys seemed happy but not ecstatic. I guess how do you kind of like the attitude that you want a regional, but that there's other stuff to do?
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. To me, you don't dogpile in a regional. To me, the only time you ever dogpile is maybe if you get to go to Omaha, and I don't even like it then. I don't want anybody to get hurt. If you win a conference championship, maybe you can get excited. But they're pretty businesslike, and they know that we still have some work to do to to get to a goal that we're trying to achieve, and then go from there. So, I appreciate the way they acted. They act like they've been there before.